What is going on, guys? We're here with another Overprime video, or right after I just released the Drongo one. I apologize for the double upload, but I had to do this because apparently there is some item changes, and I definitely wanted to go over them for the dev build. Now, we got this gameplay from Sarajog. He uploaded it onto his YouTube, so I don't know if he's going to be uploading any more of these, but I'm not in the partner program or anything. I saw Moni had access to Drongo as well, so if you want to go follow her as well as Sarajog, just for basically early access, I guess, to these patches. I didn't know about any of this stuff. I didn't know we even got early access as a partner. I didn't really know partners were really a thing, but anyways. This is kind of crazy. We got some changes. We also got, again, all of Drongo's info. TLDR, he's just exactly the same. There's pretty much no difference. The only one thing I can think of is that when you stand inside of his radius of his stun, or his radius of his silence for too long, you get stunned. I don't even know if it's a silence, actually. I didn't even pay attention. I skipped over everything involving Drongo, I'm not gonna lie, because these other changes were so drastic. These item changes are insane. This is the kind of patch that I was looking for, I was waiting for. This is exciting stuff. As far as I'm aware, though, just to spoil anyone, rain on everyone's parade, gold changes aren't in the game yet. So I know they talked about that. Hopefully they can adjust that quickly, but that's not in the game. But there are some fantastic changes here to items and just other things in general. I'm very much looking forward to next patch. I'm assuming this is all coming in the next patch because it's the dev build and they have access to it, but it's also a work in progress. Things might change. These values and everything else might change on these items. We don't know yet. The patch isn't out. So we'll see next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever it comes out. But yeah, anyways, let's go over some of these changes. I'm going to show you a couple of things here. So first and foremost, we have Bells of Purification. Magical power, attack speed. So this is the item that before this had it decreased magical defense by 8% every time a basic attack deals damage. Now it's a 60 power, 20 pen, and 10% CDR. Very good stats. A successful basic attack or skill attack on enemy hero increases the hero's magical power by 8 and decreases the enemy's magical defense by 5% for 4 seconds, and it stacks up to 5 times. Now, it's 4 seconds long. This item is absolutely a must-have on Shinbi. It's just amazing. I really don't see how she can operate without this item. You get pen, power, cooldown. Maybe Countess probably doesn't need it, but like I said, it also stacks up to 5 times. I don't know how many times, like how often it procs. Is it instantaneous? So does Shinbi's Wolves insta-proc this? I'm very curious to see how it's going to interact on her. But this is a great item in general for all mages. This actually adds diversity to the mage build, because I feel like right now it's just a Mathematician's Boots meta with a mana meta as well, depending on who you are. Other than that, there's like Cultist Blow for close range mages and even not close range mages. But there's not a lot of good pen options. There's only literally one. So this is very exciting. And it has CDR on it as well. Pen and CDR, that's insane. It's like a must-have, honestly. I'm very, very excited for this item. The next item, Shock Energy Battery, 50 defense, 300 health, 3% movement speed. Before it was 125% power when you got into combat. The first, if you were out of combat for 6 seconds, you get 10% movement speed. And then when you got into combat, you'd get 125% of your physical power. So basically Spirit's Fang, but, you know, which actually is a good pairing for it, but it had defense, 300 health, movement speed. They took off the health, they put 40 power on it, 35 defense, since it went down, so it got a nerf in defense, 10% CDR, and 3% movement speed. Staying out of combat for 6 seconds increases the movement speed by 10%, or 10%, so the same passive, while movement speed is increased. Landing a successful basic attack deals physical damage equal to 100%, so they lowered it by 25% of hero's physical power, but they also made it scale plus 40. So it's 100% of your power, so it's equivalent to your auto attack plus 40. So if you're a run and gun kind of character and you're in sprint mode somehow and you get close to somebody, they don't see you, and you hit them, you get that plus the 40, and slows the enemy by 80% for 0.8 seconds. That slow is going to feel fucking awful. It's going to be like a stun, basically. 80% slow, even for less than a second, is going to feel absolutely awful. Granted, you have to be in sprint mode, so... Well, I guess you don't actually run. I guess you don't. I'm curious. I don't actually know how this item works. What if you get hit before you get to the enemy? I'm curious if, like, it matters. Anyways, excited to see this item actually see play. It has CDR on it now, which is really good. It did lose a lot of its tankiness, but it also is another power alternative, and it's just really good for hybrid characters. Like, they're actually adding hybrid items, like good ones. So I'm really excited about this item. It's not really too insane, although I will say also the cost of gold went up significantly, so unless they adjust the lanes and like that's not going to happen. But in the jungle, I could definitely see this being used, but in lanes, not happening. Zimia's Toy. So before, the infamous Zimia's toy, still the best tank item in the game, against physical, deals 23 through 50 magical damage. Now it deals magical damage equal to 1% of max health plus 8 per second to all nearby enemies. Damage increases by 25 for the Tions and by 100% for monsters. So minions are still going to die really fast, probably not as early. It's still a really good item, but this is more of a late game item now because the scaling deals magical damage equal to 1% of your HP. 1% of your HP starting off, I think you have like 1200 HP, so it's like what, 1.2 or whatever. You're not doing a lot of damage with this. You're doing like 12 damage, but it'll scale up based on your HP. So you're going to be doing quite a bit of damage. You're probably going to be sitting, I don't know, like probably like 50, 56 damage, similar to what you were doing before when you get a lot of health. Also, a straight health build would actually be insane with this, considering it gives health as well. And it's also boosted 100% for monsters as usual, just like the Zimia's toy thing. So you basically, they made it scale to tanks, so you can't just build it as like a hybrid anymore. You really want this item as a full tank. With a lot of HP, or a character who has a lot of HP and just slap it on there. It's going to be way more beneficial to you. I like this though. I like that they're making it scale. That's a really good change in my honest opinion. Very, very, very good decision. I'm a fan. I like this change. Still the same price. I think they also patched out the physical or the magical part of it, they said. Frendera's Flask. Now this item, dude, 50 power, 18 pen, 250 HP, staying stealth in a bush or shadow bush for 3.5 seconds, enhances the next basic attack by applying bonus physical damage equal to 30% of the hero's physical attack with the 15-second cooldown. It is now 55 power, 20% crit rate, and a successful basic attack on an enemy increases the hero's critical rate by 8% for 3.5 seconds. The effect triggers once every 2 seconds and stacks up to 3 times. So you have to be consistently hitting your opponent, but you could get a 3 stack for this. This is a 24% crit. This is a 44% crit item. Getting this in Sword on Revenant is going to be a must-have. Like, this was a direct buff to Revenant. Now, this item is very expensive, but the crit is just absolutely bonkers. If you're going for crit and you want to complete it fast, the 2 items that you could have would be this item and then Sword. And that's like, what is that? Sword is 20% and this is 44%. So you get 64% crit immediately from these 2 items. Absolutely absurd. You can actually hit 100% crit now before anything else. And again, crit's also the leading, factor. Now, this is a direct buff to Revenant. This is an item that Revenant should definitely have. It's not going to be easy to stack for him necessarily because he's going to have to auto every now and then, but this is going to, when he does crit, it's going to instantly just boost his crit rate, which is absolutely absurd. It's a power crit item. He loves those, and it's a lot. It's actually a good scaling one. Every other crit item aside from Sword is under like 40 power, but this item is finally 55 power, so it's a chunk of power, 20% crit. I don't really see why Revenant wouldn't build this, especially if he gets those gets like, 1 or 2 crits. He's going to be at 16% extra crit rate, which is absolutely bonkers. And obviously the higher you go, I'm excited to try this item just in general, even on like Seraph or something. I really did not expect seeing this. I'm a little upset the pen's off there, but again, I never used the item anyways, so very, very good change. I feel like this is going to be something that people are going to definitely look at. As for the regular carries though, aside from Rev, I don't know if they're going to use this, but they might. It's a lot of crit rate. Vitality Lens. This item was garbage before. 80 power, 15 pen, from 80 to 10, and this before, basically, when you use the skill, you would be able to get 20 penetration, but it didn't really apply like that. It was after 2 seconds, so you had to wait 2 seconds, then you got the pen. It was just terrible design. A successful skill attack on an enemy increases magical penetration by 30 for 3 seconds. Dude, this item is cracked on Countess now. And maybe even Shinbi. Dude, 30 magical pen on squishies, 45 magical pen. This item has to be the best item for Countess and Shinbi. They're S tier. 2 of the biggest problems right now for me, personally, and just in general for everyone else in terms of just raw damage, and they got a massive damage. 30 pen is fucking bonkers, man. With that 1 item change up top with the pen, this item is insane. I can't not believe they changed that. Absolutely bonkers. Definitely gonna build this every single time on Shinbi and Countess. There's actually variety, which is I like. Alchema Blaster before was just a 50% 60 power. A successful skill attack on an enemy with higher max health than the hero deals 12% bonus magical damage. The bonus magical damage reaches the max amount when the difference of health is 1100. So they also got a scaling thing just like the chainsaw because they were mages are really good at or bad at taking tanks out. It got a little bit of a cost increase due to that. Now I do think that 50% is way too much. I think it should be like 30. I think just like the chainsaw should only be 30. As much as I think tanks are a major issue, this, I just think in general makes hybrid builds a lot harder to do because it's just so much free magical nullified defense. Definitely should be 30%. But regardless of that, the actual effect itself was really good for mages. It's going to be really not easy, but much simpler to take out tanks now. Really nice. Witch's Vial got a gold decrease, as you can see. Before, it was a basic attack increases vamp of all damage by 8% for 4 seconds. When using any skills, the basic attack recovers 10 mana. Terrible passive before. 35 power, 70 magical. It is now a physical item only, 40 power, 20% attack speed, and 20% critical rate. A critical hit increases physical nullification by 20% and attack speed by 25%. This item is also a must-have. This item is, if there is a tank in the game, I don't even think it matters if there's a tank in the game. This item gives you 45% attack speed in total. That is so fucking much. Like, this item combined with just the sword might be better than the shield. Like just straight up 40%. You get so much attack speed from these two items. Shield before was only giving you 20. You're getting an extra, if you crit, you're getting an extra 25% attack speed. Sure, that shield is really OP. I'm not gonna lie, but this might trump it because this damage is absolutely ludicrous because you also get tank shredding power. So this also means you don't have to build chainsaw. Or you could build the shield still. You could build 3 crit items. I don't know what the carry build is going to be after this, but the new items, the 2 new items that they added for carries, man, absolutely bonkers. At least this one specifically. The other one, not as much, but you could probably fit it in somewhere. But, you know, with this, obviously you get sword. This is absolutely insane. I'm very glad they added some more variety. I don't know what the build's going to be anymore. I have a set to go, like, pretty much, for the most part, kind of ADC build. And this is just insane. I could try it on Seraph too, just for tank busting. This is going to be really fun. So they also added these actives. Active increases physical power by 4%, minus 55%, or through 55%. Increases... Oh, okay. So it scales off your level. And attack speed by 4 to 55%, based on the hero's level for 4 minutes. The elixir's effect doesn't stack and disappears if the hero dies within 4 minutes. So this elixir does not stack. It's a 500 gold active that scales off your level. So obviously this is intended for late game. This item sounds pretty damn cracked. Like, just in general, 55% attack speed at late game, just like that. It's just insane. Like, it's just raw stats. You're just straight up buying the excess gold. They're definitely preparing for a giant gold increase in lane because there's no reason, like, it's going to be, unless you're dominating, it's going to be very hard to actually buy this item sustainably. But even when you're leaving base, like when you have like 4 or 5 items, just buying this is insane. And they have one for casters as well. Caster elixir increases magical power by 16 through 50 and mana regen by 30% based on the hero's level for 4 minutes. That's a lot. Jesus Christ. The elixir's effect doesn't stack and disappears if the hero dies, as usual. Then we got more elixirs. So obviously one for caster, one for physical. Tenacity elixir increases physical defense and magical defense by 13 through 50, and tenacity by 20% based on the hero's level. That's not a lot of defense considering it should be a percentage thing, in my opinion. 30 defense is not that much, but I mean, it's dual defense, so that's not that. I mean, for free, actually, that's perfectly okay, I guess. But also, the tenacity is like the biggest thing here. Really nice getting that for free. Obviously, you can only buy 1 elixir, so this is tenacity elixir. So yeah, 20% tenacity and 30 defense at max level. Nice. Increases movement speed by 10% and damage dealt to structures by 20%. Literally, dude, Wukong is going to be even more broken. 20% increase to structures. That's absurd. Tell me, everyone, right now, Wukong is not going to be easily the most broken character in the game with this elixir. Like, he's going to buy this like 3 items in just because he can take them. That's insane. That is, they need to like nerf his pet. They need to make it so he can't hit structures with his clothes. I don't know why it's still a thing. It's completely unbalanced. I am going to abuse the shit out of this elixir. I'm very excited to show people how broken this character is with this elixir, even more so. Energy overflow, 2,000 gold. Jesus Christ, this is an item. Increases all targets damage by 50%, including all allies and enemies within range for 5 minutes. The effect disappears if a target dies within 5 minutes. What the flying fuckaroonies? Yo, I'm gonna be, this is insane. I'm about to be trolled my ass off. Dude, oh my god, this is insane. This is interesting. I like this. It's such a troll item. But like, how is it, dude, how is a tank or a support has to get this? It looks like you could buy this though without actually getting the other elixirs because it costs so much, but this is really interesting. Wow. Never mind. I just realized this isn't an active. Oh no, this is an item. This is actually an item. This is an elixir. This is 2,000 gold for an actual. I'm pretty sure this is an item, right? It's not legendary though, so no, maybe it is an active. Yeah, okay. So it's 5 minutes, and then if any target, it doesn't matter if it's you or someone else. So the first person that you're gonna kill takes 50% increased damage. That's actually absurd. That is absolutely insane. I like, do you abuse this early on? Probably, right? Like, I don't know. That's 2,000 gold though that you're throwing away. Like, that's a lot of gold. As a support though, man, that might be worth it for like a clutch team fight. But granted, that also means, remember, you take more damage. So if you're not winning, dude, this is not worth. If you're losing, unless you jump somebody, that's even worse decision. I like this item. That's interesting. It's really cool. Aussine's Holy Water, 50 power, 35 magical, and 200 health. This is an actual item, guys. Like a new item, finally. So it's magical. It's a magical defense item, which is probably pretty useless. Removes all defense, or not defense, Jesus Christ, debuffs, except airborne effects. It increases movement speed by 40% and tenacity by 20% for 2 seconds. Sounds like a tank item, but not. It's not. It's more like a carry magical negation item. Did they get rid of the crit one? Because that was what it was. Weird. Anyways. And then they have another legendary item for 1100. Defeating 70 Teons increases magical power by 60, magical penetration by 10, and max mana by 250, and increases skill cooldowns by 10%. What the fuck is this? Wait a minute, hold on. What is it? This is okay. First off, I think the gold cost is wrong because this is no way. I know it's low power, but no way this costs 1100. What is this item? This is an item you can just straight up buy. The passive is you defeat 70 Teons. You get 60 power, so it's an 80 power item, but you also get 10 pen, and you get 350 mana, and you get 10% CDR. What? Is it permanent CDR, or is it just at the time when you evolve it? Because obviously it's an evolution. I like this though, dude. We're going into like the territory of basically getting like actives that, or not actives, like Transcendence and Smite, items you build up over time. I like this. This is a very good item. People are probably going to build it first. Dude, stacking this with freaking the glove, the mono glove, absolutely absurd. You start off with this, you start off extremely weak, and I mean insanely weak, but you get really strong later in the game. This might even be a good option for like FaZe or something, as like for her first item, if it is really this cheap as a support. Or maybe even Decker, less enthusiastic with the Decker. Mostly FaZe support. I could definitely see FaZe support building this. Just in general, again, low power, but very low gold cost. And it scales up, of course, once you get 70, but it's pretty useless until you get, okay, that's probably why it's so cheap. And I'm assuming if you sell it, you don't keep you might keep the passive, but you can't buy like 2 of these or anything. Interesting. I like these items. I like almost every single item. This one's pretty useless, the Aussine, because again, not really necessary, but every other item is pretty much good. The elixir is a really interesting system with the elixirs. I definitely like the energy overflow one. I'm gonna try and see how I can utilize this. Overall, guys, tell me what you think about the item changes. I am very, very excited. I didn't think this patch was going to be loaded. I thought it was going to be lane go, and then that was it. But no, I guess we're getting lane go and more stuff. I'm very excited. I really hope the gold changes with the lane comes with it, though, personally. But I doubt we're going to get that. So that is a shame. So one more thing before I end the video. Real quick, Sarah Jog, like I said, he made this video with all the dev summaries. That was his PDF file we were looking at. This is the video. So if you want to see, there is some changes that he went over. There is an explorer pass that seems to be you can get free items like emotes, emblems, and stuff like that, probably. I don't know what this gold stuff is, but you could also pick a skin that you could claim based on your login, which is really nice. So it's going along those lines of a battle pass. I don't think you have to pay for this or anything. It looks like expiration base. And then there's an, which I don't know what that is, but then there's an expiration pass, which basically looks like a battle pass. But it's based on doing certain things, which is really cool. So, and it looks like, I don't know if it's weekly or daily. He didn't really go into detail, but you also seem to be getting like, I don't know if, I guess, character emblems and stuff like that too. Like, I'm guessing those are portraits, not skins, because that'd be pretty crazy. But it looks like you can get character portraits, or characters in general. Maybe it's just like Faye is a free character. I wonder what happens when you already have the character. But I don't know what that is exactly. That might be a new player thing. But very excited. And one more change I want to go over before we end this is, first off, The hero selection does look really cool now. It looks much more cleaned up. I hate that stupid, like, weird, like, horizontally design, like, slanted, weird, they're like diamonds, but, like, they go, like, in a weird slant. It's just horrible design. This is a way better design. So very glad. I wish they would filter it, like, by class or whatever, but it's fine. So that's pretty exciting. And then also there are some map changes. So they added some fog walls, a fog wall going into both pits, literally fog walls all around. So really interesting. Actually going to have your support playing the game properly, and also just you using your ward properly. But not just there, you also get a fog wall going into just, you know, the entryway for mid, which means you can't see into it or whatever. There's no fog wall there, but then on the other side, there is a fog wall, and by the soul lane, there is also a fog wall. So lot of changes basically for the map. Very, very excited. Again, if we get the gold changes this patch as well, that would just be icing on the cake. This would be one of the best patches ever, because that's all we're missing, especially with some of the increased gold costs right now. I really hope that's part of the patch. They didn't, like I said, Sarah Duck didn't go over that. If you guys want to see this video though, and listen to everything he talks about, just I'll link it down below. I am very, very excited for these changes though. Some really, really cool items, and the map changes are really nice too. I like all those fog walls being there, because now warning is going to be really important for the support. Some really, really interesting items as well. The elixir system is really, really cool. I can't wait for the spell system too. I'm very excited for that. But yeah, I'm so hyped. I'm actually so hyped. I cannot wait till next week. Did not think this patch was going to be this loaded. I am honestly shocked. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm hyped. Drongo patch, actually the hypest patch, surprisingly. Greystone's gonna be fucking like, we're gonna be flying to the moon or something crazy. Anyways, I'll see you guys. Peace.